This morning, new video shows a brazen armed carjacking involving who authorities say is a South Florida woman at a traffic light stop.
All right, welcome back to Surviving the Badge Bar.
Cheers.
We are going to talk about a real mystery that's going on in the county just a little bit south of us. It's carjacking and drugs and murder and arson and all kinds of stuff, so stick around.
It is crazy.
All right, so welcome back. We're going to talk about a murder mystery that's going on in a county just below. There is a victim, Katherine Aguasvivas, and she was up here in Seminole County, and you've all probably seen the video of her being carjacked.
Yeah.
Car right there, videoing this guy getting out of a green Acura,
Yep.
walking up to a SUV with looks like some kind of short-barreled submachine gun.
Yeah, it did.
Forcing himself into the truck.
Cell phone video capturing the moment a hooded masked gunman points his firearm directly at the driver in front of this green Acura before then climbing into the car, a white Durango.
Like a pistol with a stock.
Yeah. Machine pistol or something.
Yeah.
And off she goes. And the next day or a couple hours later, they found the vehicle with her dead in the vehicle. So they started this it's a crazy investigation. Before we get into the investigation and all that kind of stuff, LT, what are we drinking?
We are drinking Basil Hayden Kentucky bourbon. I got to tell you, man, this stuff is absolutely sweet and smooth.
Yeah.
I mean, not sweet. It's very smooth. I really like it. We couldn't do this without our sponsors. We really appreciate y'all. Thank you very much for sponsoring our liquor/beer moment. We appreciate it. And here's a word from those sponsors. Contact Mainstreet Realty for all your real estate needs. This power team includes Tom Clem, a veteran Marine and retired law enforcement professional.
All right. Well, thank you very much, as always, sponsors. Once again, I have to do what I have to do like 1,200 times every year, is pay a bet to LT. I lost. Go UConn.
No, it was South Carolina. I'm sorry. He picked South Carolina. Yeah. Oliva. I love Olivas.
Once again,
thank you, sir.
I have to pay a bet.
You always honor your bets.
Yes. So
Speaking of that, did you? I still got one coming from Sean too.
I only got one from Sean. He gave me the one that he owed me.
Well, I'm saying
He didn't give me one.
I know, but he owes me one.
That's between you and Sean.
That's why I pointed at the screen and
he
said,
better,
Sean.
And he knew not to give me two.
Yeah, I know, right? They've been gone. All right, so what are we talking about here about Aqua Vias?
So it's kind of convoluted. I'm going to trying to keep it simple. The video shows her being carjacked, and then they found her in a burnout vehicle. She was in it, and they found a bunch of 10mm shell casings in and around the vehicle.
A bunch.
Right, a bunch.
Yeah.
And then they're like, wait a second. The day before, there was a murder of a tow truck driver in Orange County, because the Aqua Vias case happened in Seminole County.
Yes.
In Orange County, there was a murder of a tow truck driver.
Right.
And in that scene, there was a bunch of shell casings, 10mm as well.
And 10mm is not an extremely popular round.
Yeah,
it is just not.
I wouldn't say it's rare, but most people don't have
Right,
them.
they just don't. It's not like a 9mm or a 380 or whatever. It's
38, 9mm,
right. It's
357,
just not that popular.
40 caliber, 10mm, not so much.
It never made the splash that everybody
they wanted
thought
it to,
was
but it
gonna
never
make.
did.
It's a powerful round, very powerful.
So, and they're working this investigation, and as they're working this investigation, they contacted Aqua Vivas' husband, and come to find out, while she was being followed by this green Acura, she called her husband and said, hey, there's a vehicle following me, and he's like, don't stop,
It actually
careful.
rammed her.
Yeah, I forgot. It did ram her,
yeah.
and she's all panicking to the husband.
Didn't call 911, called her husband.
Yeah, and then all this happened, and the guy gets in and guess who else does not call 911?
The husband.
The husband.
What the hell?
Holy my wife just got kidnapped. She's up in Seminole County. 911.
She's
blah,
being
blah, blah.
rammed. She's been run off the road and rammed, and she was at this location driving this.
The only person who called 911 was the person who was taking a video
In it.
of the whole thing happening.
Who wasn't involved in any way, shape, or form other than a witness.
So the sheriff,
Unbelievable.
The sheriff has been giving updates, and they told the people of the city or of the area during the update that they didn't. He didn't call the husband liar. He said he's holding back.
Yeah.
We're not believing what he's saying because husband said, "Oh well, we think she was up in Seminole County visiting family. She doesn't have family in Seminole County."
Oh, they did find out. She does have family.
Okay.
She has 2 family members.
Okay.
They contacted the family members. We weren't expecting her.
Yeah. Right.
We had no idea that she was up here doing anything.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
either they're lying or she's lying. My bet is she was lying.
So, case is going along. They're working their case. They're doing amazing things.
They are doing
all
amazing.
kinds of technology stuff. And today they gave another briefing.
Yeah, news
that
brief.
they think they've arrested the person who actually did the carjacking
Right.
because they were able to identify who purchased the green Acura.
Correct.
And
Off of
identify him
Facebook
using an
Marketplace.
AKA,
Yeah.
and then using facial recognition software called Faces. I mean, all this really
It was cool.
high-end
It
stuff.
was cool, yeah.
So they arrested this guy who has federal warrants out of Puerto Rico, gun charges.
Right.
Shocker.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
And then
And that's the one that his hoodie.
he's wearing exactly the same hoodie as he was in the carjacking in his social media profile.
Correct. And that's how they went bingo.
Yeah, and we'll
other
put a
than the
picture on
faces
there,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. They're like,
But-
that's the same damn sweater he had on when he did this carjacking.
Right now, they have him under the warrants, and then they're probably going to try to connect him with everything else.
That's going to be pretty easy to do.
Now, another reason why we're doing this case is an Orange County deputy got arrested for all this.
Yeah.
Apparently, a friend of the husband, and the husband and wife live down in Homestead, way down in South Miami, but a family friend of the husband is or was an Orange County deputy, and
Well, I think he still probably technically is,
I'm sure he's probably been fired by now.
but I'm sure that the paperwork's laying somewhere for him to be fired. Yeah.
So
What a shame.
this Orange County deputy accesses case records and all this and contacts the detective who's working the case in Seminole County, gives a fake name to the detective in Seminole County and says, "Hey, I'm with Orange County. I'm the detective with Orange County. I'm trying to find out what's going on because we're working the tow truck driver case, blah, blah, blah,
And didn't
blah."
he tape it or record it?
I don't know, did he? I don't,
Yeah, I believe they
okay.
said he recorded the conversation and then played it for the
Husband.
victim. Yeah.
Yeah. So this
Crazy,
this
man.
deputy was trying to find out all this information for the husband down in South Florida, and Orange County arrests him for accessing. So you're more recent with law enforcement. If you access databases,
Correct.
and you're not doing the investigation,
Correct.
to access, you put somebody's name in, and it's not your investigation. Is that a crime? Like if you go into David.
Well, David's different because that's a state. I mean if you're looking into your agency's database, no, it's not a crime per se. However, it is definitely against the policies and procedures for sure. But he tape recorded without.
So that's where these come in. Then
Yeah,
he
go
was
ahead.
charged with interception of wire or electronic
There you go.
communication. That's where the
That's
recording.
why, yep.
Disclosure of use of confidential criminal justice information,
Which is interfering with an investigation.
unlawful use of two-way communication device.
There you go.
Accessing computer or electronic device without authorization or exceeding authority.
Okay, so because he wasn't officially doing the investigation, then they're going to charge him like as if he was a civilian and hacked into the computer.
Okay.
So that's what I don't think that's going to stick, but it's a valid charge. I just don't think they'll get away with that
Okay.
one. But all the others, oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, for sure.
So the husband probably.
And shame on you, man.
Right,
That
come on.
makes us all freaking. Well, I'm not
Yeah.
a cop anymore, but That makes the whole damn job look bad, man.
So if this were a legitimate thing, we're going to give you our opinions in a few minutes, but if this were a legitimate thing, the deputy was probably reached out by the husband and says, hey, I know you're a cop. Can you help me with all this?
Right.
And the deputy should have said, no, I can tell you what's going to happen. I can probably get you in contact
and
with
I can put
the
you
detective.
in touch with the detectives that's handling this.
But there's nothing I can do.
I can't help you, brother. Sorry.
If I cannot provide you stuff on the case.
Just don't get it, man.
I can tell you what's going to happen, what here and there, but once you start delving into getting involved and providing confidential information to, and I think that the issue with the husband is super suspicious.
I was going to say, and here's the problem with that. The wife calls him and says, I'm being rammed, I'm being followed, and the car has rammed me. He doesn't say, call the police. He says, don't stop, don't get out of the car, keep driving.
Which is good information.
Good advice.
Drive to your local police department.
Good advice.
Don't
I told
stop
my son
ever.
that one time that he thought somebody was following him. I said, go to the local police department. I'm making a call now to that police department. Tell them you're on the way.
Yep.
But I called the freaking police.
Yeah.
So that's what the husband should have done. By him not doing that, I know what some of our viewers are going to say. Well, a lot of people don't trust the police. They don't want to involve the police. Let me tell you something.
Your wife's about to get murdered.
Yeah, your wife is being rammed. Okay, what are you going to do from South Florida? The first thing he should have done was call 911. Unless, why would he not call police other than he doesn't trust the police?
He's trying to hide something. They're doing nefarious acts. So
absolutely.
There's a connection. There's a drug connection.
They
in
don't
all
want
this.
the police involved.
Right. There's a drug connection in all this. Seminole County Sheriff's Office have arrested a couple of people for trafficking in fentanyl and cocaine, and
yeah, they did a search warrant. On the house.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you my opinion. Mm-hmm. They've only made the one arrest on the person they think did the actual carjacking, and I think they probably got the right guy. And he probably committed the murder, but there was someone else also in that vehicle. So they've got.
Well, they arrested the female.
No, I'm talking about who got out of the Acura.
I'm saying though, you said they only made one arrest, but for the whole case, they actually arrested a female
for picking up the cocaine,
who went down and picked up 3 kilos of cocaine that was delivered by the U.S. mail. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on! This whole thing stinks to high heaven, man.
The victim's brother told law enforcement that she was in Seminole County delivering money and other things.
There you go.
Yeah. So my opinion is that the husband sent the wife to Seminole County with dope, money, or both. To make a delivery, to do a pickup, whatever it might be. And
I know what you're going to say.
And they got jacked.
They got ripped.
Yep, they got ripped.
We used to call it, when I was a drug agent, we called it a rip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whoever was in that green Acura knew what was going to happen, or knew that they were coming up there, and they had
info
carjacking
from whoever the delivery was going to, that they had the money or the drugs, probably both, and that's exactly what happened. They did the rip, they killed her, they burned the car to burn up any evidence or anything else. Only problem is, and I wanted to say this earlier, and I got sidetracked. Shell casings all over the place.
Yeah.
Evidence? Other than, they came out of that gun. Obvious ballistics, yes. Mm-hmm. They came out of that gun. What other kind of evidence can you get from shell casings?
Well, if it was in the car, you can't get any fingerprints. If it's outside the car,
that's what I mean, outside.
If it's outside, you could possibly get fingerprints. You could get extractor marks. You could get firing pin marks to match it to a gun.
Possible touch DNA?
Touch DNA, possibly.
There you go.
But there's also a database that's called NIBIN, and NIBIN is really cool. Where they take a picture of the butt stamp on a shell casing, and it's like a fingerprint. It works just like the fingerprint database. and it goes into the system. And any other shootings anywhere in the country, if they find a shell casing and they put it in NIBIN, they will match, and they'll say, oh, well, that's the same. That shell casing matches a shell casing that was fired by a gun in Miami.
It's got the same marks on it. It's got the same exact spot where the firing pin struck the primer. I mean, everything. It's like he said, it's like a digital fingerprint.
Yeah, it's National Integrated Ballistics Identification Network.
See, not only
NIBIN.
does he look like Einstein, this guy's a walking friggin' encyclopedia of what are those called? Like DEA, FBI, what are the
Acronyms?
He's a walking encyclopedia of friggin' acronyms over here. Gee, many Christmas.
So there hasn't been, this case has not been finally solved. And when this episode goes out, it may not be solved yet. There's probably a week or so still to go, but that's our prediction. If you have a difference...
As of April 19th, 2024 at 8 p.m. is when we're recording this, and I'm 1,000% exactly what he says. I mirror his prediction. I agree.
If it's not been solved by the time this episode comes out, give us your idea. Give us your prediction. Tell us what...
I kind of hope it isn't now, because I want to hear what you guys have to say, what you think's going on with this.
Help us solve the case.
Yeah, anyone that lives in the Central Florida area has seen this blasted all over the news. It's been on every single channel, every night, every day at noon, in the morning, everything else.
I mean, it's not very often you see a carjacking right there, videoed, live, everything.
While it's happening, unless it's on freaking TikTok or something. I mean, this was actually given to the police, and I mean, it was put out almost immediately. Oh, here's a neat thing. They said that there were only three of those green Acuras in the state of Florida, okay, with Florida tags and all that. 2 of them were in the junkyard.
Okay, so you're the car guy. You're the car guy. What makes that particular Acura unique?
Acura only produced so many dark green cars.
So it's the color.
That model, that make, that year, the model number, that year, and that color. That doesn't mean 3 all over the entire U.S. That's 3 in the state of Florida that they could find that were registered in the state of Florida, and 2 of them were in the junkyard.
Yeah.
So that pretty much freaking narrowed it down. Florida tag on it, and then they found out later it was
found
never
the car
registered.
Later,
right,
though.
it was never registered, so that tag was bogus.
But the guy who went to purchase the car used a fake name, and then they were able to track that name, and then that's the guy they arrested, and they think is the guy who did the carjacking.
And they put his name, I didn't write it down, but they put his name on the news.
Yeah, so his name is Jordan's Torres Garcia. He's the one who had the green Acura, and he's the one who had federal warrants for weapons possession out of Puerto Rico. And he used the AKA of Jordan LaTroy to purchase the vehicle. He never paid for it, but he went to purchase it from a buy here, pay here.
Right, buy here, pay here through Facebook Marketplace.
The sheriff said that they don't have quite the connection with the tow truck driver where that all comes in yet.
Right.
But I mean,
it will.
The day before, he uses the same gun to shoot this tow truck driver.
That could have been a simple road rage, or I mean, who knows? It
might be
just wacky.
Might be connected, but not connected.
Right. I mean, it's going to be connected to this guy, but maybe not to this whole carjacking case.
Yeah.
I love cases like this. I mean, I don't like people to get hurt and killed, and murdered, and all that. But I just like cases like this where there are so many different moving parts. It's a fluid, investigation that's still ongoing. We try to jump on these as soon as we can, especially the local ones, because it's just interesting to us because we've been there. We've been looking for the bad guy.
This is why I love being a detective.
Yeah.
This is the shit
this
right
is
here.
Cool. For the live stuff that's going on right now, The burglary with, yes, they're very important, but it's like, oh my God.
Right. This is the running and the gunning. This is the up 36 hours, following leads, shaking the
in
bush.
Office right now, going through paperwork and freaking filing shit with the state attorney and trying to get search warrants approved. And oh my God, you can't even imagine. There's a stack of freaking paper. This goddamn
pin
thing.
registers, all the phone numbers, all the bank records, the credit cards, receipts, everything.
They're also looking at 417 cameras, which is a major toll road here that everybody freaking uses. They're trying to pull stuff from there. I mean, I tell you what,
they've got a squad of detectives in a room just pouring through all this stuff and putting, like you said, putting out search warrants and subpoenas and just banging this out. And
yeah, they're up on phones. It used to be pagers. We used to have to do
LT,
those.
what's a pager?
Pager, shut up. But they're up on phones. They're up on everything. I mean, in order to get search warrants to get all of that stuff, and where the search or where the cell phones have pinged to which towers, which puts the individuals at the location or near the location of the crimes.
Yeah.
You cannot even imagine the amount of paperwork that these guys are going through right now. It's oh my!
And
But you don't think about it until it's all over,
Right. And what's nice now is it's all electronic. Remember getting bank records and shit, and it's all paper. And you got a highlighter.
Highlighter. Yeah.
No Excel spreadsheet.
And then before you could release anything to the press, you're in there with a black freaking marker redacting everything.
Right.
Oh my God, it was terrible. Yeah, it was.
All right, guys.
was
So
terrible.
let us know what you think about this case. Heck, and let me put this out there. We're going to put this out in the next couple of days. If you know anything, contact the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. I don't know the number, but I'm sure you can find it right there. Anybody
and
can
you
find
can
anything.
contact the tip crime line
And
crime
let them
line.
know that we told you to do it.
Yeah.
That way we get the reward.
And I'm telling you right now, you can get a reward
Yeah.
for calling the crime line. It's all over. Just look it up on the internet. I forget
Yeah.
what it's called. It's something
423
1-800
423 tips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? 423 tips.
I think it's 423 tips.
Yeah, but it's definitely tips are the last four.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
we appreciate everyone. Make sure you hit that subscribe and that like button if you want to see more content like this. Give us a suggestion down below what you want to see next. You got a crime in your area, wherever you're from, and you say, man, this is going on right now. Can you look into it? Give us your opinion. What do you think? Or maybe it involved your family or something.
Maybe we'll start working cold cases.
Hey, you know what? We could. I mean, we got Einstein over here. I mean, we could. We've got 35 years
We got
of freaking
freaking
experience.
Methuselah here. Look at the experience here.
I hate you. I really freaking hate you. I really do. I really do. You Furby looking bastard. Anyway, guys, we appreciate each and every one of you very, very much for listening. We really do. Thanks to our sponsors and everybody that helps us out here. We have a blast doing this. It's the only reason we do it. We're not making a dime on this, guys. We just do it because we love it. And I
Right.
hope you stuck around to the end because we wanted to thank you all very much. Thank you.
And always remember, at the Surviving the Badge,
We still got your 6. Be careful out there.